Hello LinkedIn, this is week 40 of my 52-week challenge to create weekly tip videos on LinkedIn and sharing career tips and advice. I get a lot of questions from undergrad students about pursuing a master's. So right now I'm pursuing my master's in engineering management at Santa Clara University. It's an in-person master's and I decided to wait 3 years after graduating from my undergrad to pursue it. In my opinion, in today's world, there's a lot of competition out there and you need something to stand out. And one way to do that is to go get your master's. The next common question is, when should I do it? Should I do it following undergrad? Should I wait a few years and figure out what you want to do and then go pursue my master's? So there's pros and cons for both. My advice is if your school has a 5-year program where you can go get your master's right after your undergrad and only spend a year, I highly recommend doing that. I had that option when I was at San Jose State for getting a master's in computer engineering and just spending one more year. But by junior year, I just started losing motivation in school. I just wanted to graduate. I didn't want to spend an extra year, even though it was only one more year. And my plan was to always work a few years and then figure out what I want to do. And after working at Lockheed for about 2.5 years, I decided I want to pursue a master's in engineering management because I want to get into project management and eventually program management. So it depends on you. If you're really passionate in what you're doing in your undergrad, definitely go get your master's right after, and you'll come out, once you graduate your master's, you'll make a lot more than when you did as an undergrad. Another pro for waiting for a few years and then going for your master's, in addition to kind of figuring out what the focus is to do for your master's, another benefit is your employer can pay for it. Right now, for my master's, Lockheed is reimbursing me for all my expenses for my master's. So that's about $15,000 a year that I pay to Santa Clara, but I get reimbursed after each quarter. Lockheed reimburses me what I paid for that quarter. And then finally is, should I do an online master's or should I do it in person? And I kind of had that dilemma too when I was choosing what school to go to and choosing what type of program. So if you do an in-person master's, the number one benefit, in my opinion, is you get a network. More than half the students in my classes work full-time. I get to meet people from different industries who work around the Bay Area. And in addition, about half of my professors aren't full-time professors. They work full-time. They teach, after their day job. And it's just a great way to network with people, to learn about different industries, and to meet a lot of different people. The con is, you have to go to class. It's harder to skip class, and you're kind of rooted where you are for your job. So I'm in the job rotation leadership development program at Lockheed, and I'm stuck here. I'm stuck in Sunnyvale. I can't rotate to a different site until I finish my master's. The pro with doing an online program is definitely the flexibility. A lot of the classes are recorded, so you can watch your classes anytime, and you can always go back to your lectures. I had a coworker who was on business travel to the UAE in the Middle East for about a month, and he was able to watch lectures from there. And obviously, the downside of an online program is you don't have that engagement. And for me, I like to be engaged. That motivates me. Going to class every single week motivates me to be there and be willing to learn. So I summarized a lot here about what to consider for doing a master's program. There's definitely pros and cons of doing it right after your undergrad or waiting for a few years and then figuring out what to do. And there's also pros and cons of doing an online or versus an in-person master's. So I decided to wait a few years, figure out kind of what I want to do my focus in, and that was a good decision for me. I really enjoy project management. That's what I want to do in the future. I didn't enjoy computer engineering as much in my undergrad, and I think I would have hated it if I pursued it right after. And the online versus the in-person, there's a slight regret of doing it in person, especially in the job rotation program. Just having that flexibility of being able to rotate to different sites and still being able to pursue my master's. So that's a pretty long summary of what to consider when doing your master's, and I hope that answers a lot of questions, especially for those in undergrad. Have a great week, everyone. And next week will be my half marathon. So I will be filming my week 41 video after I finish my half marathon. So wish me luck in the race and talk to you all next week.